Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com, and this is episode 72 of Photo Critiques. And in Photo Critiques, people send me in some of their best work, and I critique each shot with suggestions on how they can improve it. And today, I am pleased to critique the work of Bill Farr. Bill sent me in some really nice wildlife shots, and the first one of this duck. Very well done. I mention all the time, you guys hear me, ad nauseum. Always make sure the eye is in focus, focus on the eye, and Bill did a great job on this duck. Um, he shot at 200 millimeters on the 70 to 200 millimeter lens, so he was zoomed all the way in. In this instance, I still think if he could have got closer, because this area all around the duck really isn't adding to the shot. So what I would suggest is in post, although I don't like doing it, I usually like to capture it if possible in camera. But in post, crop it so the duck is more dominating the image. I mean, really dominating the image. Something, even closer. And you might even want to consider putting on a vignette. Just a little bit like that. It just brings out the duck a little better, in my opinion. One thing I want to mention is the light, and I'm going to mention the light a lot in Bill's images. The light, appears to be midday. The light is very harsh, and the shadow is below the duck, real dark. We want to avoid that as photographers, and we always want to take advantage of, they call it the golden hour. And the golden hour is a half hour before sunrise to a half hour after, and a half hour before sunset to a half hour after. And really, you could stretch that out to the 2 hour, the magic 2 hour. You could really go an hour before to an hour after sunrise and sunset, and you really get a lot better light. Bill did a great job of minimizing the issues with the light in this shot. He shot the duck broadside, so there's no harsh shadows. Maybe that if he shot it at a 90-degree angle with the light, maybe putting one side of the duck's face in darkness and the other one's real bright. So it did a nice job there. But keep that in mind about the light. You really want to get the light when it's a little softer. If it's lightly overcast out, that's usually optimum too. Or shoot something in the shade. Hopefully there's a bug or something you could shoot in the shade. If all that's unavoidable and it's midday and you're out in the middle of somewhere, a field, and you just can't get into an area where you could get softer light, you can't go earlier in the day, later in the day, or in shade. Usually it's good to zoom in. Just get the shot of the duck's head. That way you don't have any shadows at all. You just get a broadside shot of the duck's head. And with the light being so bright and harsh, you'd get a lot of detail in the duck's feathers. So look for a way that you could even take bad light and use it to your advantage. This is a shot of a cormorant. This is a very interesting bird, and they stretch their wings constantly. And typically, if you get the shot from the back, it's never a really good shot. But Bill did a nice job, and he has the cormorant looking to the side, so we could see one of the cormorant's eyes. And that's important. Not only do you always want the eyes in focus, you want to see them. People look at an animal, they don't want to not see the eye. So that's what makes this shot a winning shot, as opposed to if that cormorant was facing straight ahead. We'd only see the back of his head, and we wouldn't see his eye. Again, if Bill could have got a little closer, I think it would have been a stronger image. I would consider, I notice you're still at 200 millimeters, I would consider getting a 1.4 or a 2x teleconverter, and it would help increase your reach a little bit on these shots. Just a real quick crop. But I think it would be better closer. Again, it's midday. You see the strong shadow down here. It's almost blending in with the tail. So get out earlier in the day, later in the day. It's really tough to get these shots at high noon. Again, though the light Bill used it to his advantage as much he could. It shows a lot of great detail in the feathers of the cormorant. So that's really cool. So if, like I mentioned, if you do have harsh light, think of a way that you could use it to your advantage and make it an asset, not a liability. Nice shot of the robin. A couple things. In this one here, it is a little soft in the eye. I think the focus was pulled more in front, so we front focused it a little bit on this robin. But the composition is nice. We do have these branches coming up over here, and it's partial framing, you could say, but I think it's a tiny bit distracting too. So I would consider cropping this into a vertical format. And I think if you did, I think it's a stronger shot. Let's bring it in. We don't want to go in too much, but I think that's a stronger shot. You eliminate those branches that are coming up on either side of it. It's a great blue herring, another really nice composition, very strong focus, very well done. The background is really busy though, and I think again, if you had the 2x teleconverter and you could shoot at 380, 400 millimeters, it would have been a much stronger shot. I know it's nice to show, especially cormorants when they're, or I'm sorry, great blue herrings when they're fishing. You like to show them in their environment, which he's doing here. But I think because the environment though is just really so busy that I think it's a stronger shot if you crop in a little bit. Now I want to put the cormorant's eye, if at all possible, right on the intersection point in the rule of thirds. So you put the eye right on that point, and I think that would be a stronger shot. So you got kind of a square crop. You could bring the top down and bottom down a little bit more if you want. This is a shot of opportunity, and what I mean by opportunity is you just kind of stumble upon something. You didn't really stage it or anything like that. So you got the snake eating this poor frog, and it's a shot of opportunity, which means you really didn't get time to move around, to try to get the best angle possible, to try to dress up the scene, to try to minimize the harsh light. So it's a good shot in the regard that you captured the snake grabbing a meal, but the weeds in the foreground are distracting. The light is very bright and harsh. Some nasty shadows are being cast, so it's a hard shot to capture any better than this. Okay, so it's a how am I trying to word this? As a nature shot and for a record of nature, it's perfect. For maybe a really good photographic shot, it isn't, because of these weeds and stuff juxtaposing in front of the animals. And a painted turtle, again, a very nice shot. I wish you still were a little closer, could get a little more grab. I really consider getting one of those teleconverters. You lose one stop of light with the 1.4 and I think 2 stops of light with the 2x teleconverter, but it's still something to consider. The light again too is still harsh. Right overhead we have the dark shadow underneath the tortoise or turtle. It's a painted turtle, I think. Anyways, again, if you had the 2x teleconverter to get closer, maybe you could walk a little closer, and because of the harsh light, you just got a picture of the turtle's head, something like that. When you do have these harsh lighting conditions, if you can't retreat to shade, or if you can't somehow diffuse the light, or you can't, do something, wait for it. Wait to come back in early morning or late at night, then the thing to do is to get real close and just shoot like portions of the body of the animal, the head, maybe just this shot of the claw, of the turtle's claw of his front leg, stuff like that. Look for things like that when the light is really harsh. And that's it for Bill. Thank you very much for sharing your images with us. I really do appreciate it. And I'd like to thank everyone who watches all my videos. Thank you very much. And if you have time, go over to my website, anthonymorganti.com, and check out all the free photography stuff I have over there to help you learn photography. And if you haven't already, go over to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate that. So again, Bill, thank you very much. You did a really nice job, and the most important thing is focusing on the eyes, and you did a great job on that. Just try to get there earlier in the day or later in the day so you could eliminate some of these harsh shadows. Thanks a lot, guys.